Shondaland's Netflix original series Bridgerton is a period romance drama set in Regency-era England. Bridgerton's plot centers on Britain's high society who have gathered in London for the social season. At the center are the Bridgertons and their aspirational neighbors the Featherringtons. Based on the novel series of the same name by Julia Quinn, Bridgerton had been highly anticipated, and with the response it received from audiences, it appears to have done a lot to fulfill fans' wishes for the show.
She knows everything about everyone, even the Queen, and yet we have her utterly convinced that we are mad for each other.
We are awfully clever.
Indeed we are.
Now that you've hopefully finished the 8 episodes available, though, you might want a handy reminder how the Bridgerton season 1 ending wrapped up for each character, and we're here to help. There are very romantic and dramatic spoilers ahead, but here's everything you need to know about where Bridgerton season 1 left all of the main characters in the finale. Daphne and Simon had a baby. Well, obviously, if you've read more than a couple of historical romance novels, you will know the power and prevalence of the baby epilogue, and fans got a big one in the Bridgerton season 1 finale. As you may recall, Simon was determined not to marry or have children so that he could screw over his not-so-dearly departed dad.
You will marry her. We can only hope that no one saw you take such liberties and that my sister is safe. Further mortification. You will marry her.
Brother!
I cannot marry her.
What possible reason could you have to condemn me to shame and reproach?
The old man only cared about continuing the Dussel line, and after how he treated his boy as a child, Simon was in no mood to assist. But after he marries Daphne, she becomes suspicious about his claims that he can't procreate. Her realization that Simon's planned no-baby future was actually a won't leads to a lot of tension, but they work it out and have a son in the end.
You must think of a name.
Whatever it is, I believe it must begin with the letter A. We do have family traditions, do we not?
Anthony has sworn off love. Who didn't see this one coming? When we first meet Anthony, he's not just trying to find a suitable match for little sister Daphne, but also carrying on a secret affair with opera singer Sienna. The two are clearly tree-bangingly smitten with one another, but as season 1 continues, Anthony's desire to fill his father's shoes as the Viscount continually disrupt their happiness.
I cannot see you anymore.
I do not understand.
It is not for you to understand.
Anthony is concerned because he's expected to marry someone among his social class, and Sienna doesn't fit that requirement. Plus, she's uninterested in trying to become a dutiful society wife. In the end, Sienna takes up with another man who seemingly appreciates her as she is.
That gentleman upstairs, he sees me for who I am.
And after that final dumpation, Anthony tells Daphne and Simon that love is not for him.
I finally determined the difficulty, love itself. Removing it from all romantic relations will make me all the better for it. No more distractions from responsibility or being waylaid from the sensible path.
Penelope is Lady Whistledown. Some viewers were totally shocked by this big fat reveal, but others probably noticed quite a few signs that our shy, put upon, lovesick Penelope Featherrington was actually the one behind the gossip rag all along. Not only is Pen at every event discussed in Lady Whistledown's missives, but she's good friends with Eloise Bridgerton, so any important gossip can come her way from her BFF as well. On top of that, Pen doesn't much like her family, so she was more than happy to spill all about her cousin Marina's pregnancy to keep her unrequited love, Colin Bridgerton, from running off with the lady whom he had no clue was already with child. Eloise is preparing for the season. Eloise got up to some minor mischief during Bridgerton season 1, which mostly involved trying to find out how ladies got pregnant.
How does a lady come to be with child? I thought one needed to be married.
Whatever are you talking about?
Apparently it's not even a requirement.
And investigating the identity of Lady Whistledown, partially at the behest of Queen Charlotte.
Your Majesty.
What evidence have you gathered? Tell me what you know.
While she was left without realizing that her best friend Penelope was the famed gossip, Eloise still admired the woman and the idea of being able to make her own money and chart her own course through life. But by the finale, the young woman was all dressed up for Daphne and Simon's ball because her mother is determined that she make her debut in society and find a husband.
I suppose I should thank you.
Whatever for?
For being so perfect. So I do not have to be.
Marina has found a father for her baby. Poor Marina, while it was doubtful during the season that she would be able to reunite with the father of her unborn child, it was especially heartbreaking to find out that he'd actually died in battle. As mentioned earlier, Marina had managed to convince Colin to run off and marry her without telling him the truth, but Penelope put an end to her deception. When the brother of Marina's fallen lover discovered her correspondence and that she was knocked up, he offered to marry her, and, eventually, she accepted. Colin has left town. Colin was left stunned by the revelation that Marina was pregnant when the news showed up in Lady Whistledown's gossip sheet.
You are with child? I do not understand. We were to be wed.
He was also likely quite embarrassed and even told Marina that he cared so much for her that he would have still married her if she'd told him. Devastated, the finale saw Colin take off for Greece to have some adventures.
I shall write to you all from Greece.
Which will probably include visiting a lady of the evening or 12. Benedict is enjoying his freedom.
How long is this concert?
3 hours?
Oh.
4. Though I certainly have already heard enough.
You are my most favorite brother. Do you know that?
It's hard not to love the friendship between Benedict and his younger sister, Eloise, seeing as how both Bridgertons want something different out of life.
That I truly believe I am quite capable of something more, even when I am not allowed to have anything else.
Then I would say that you're not the only one.
Benedict would also like to get away from society's expectations of him as the second oldest son in the family, and, as Eloise told him, he has more freedom to do so than any of his sisters. So, Benedict begins going to events at the home of another high society second son, has a rousing ménage à trois with 2 women, and decides to try making art his full-time career. The Featherringtons have suffered a loss. Lord Featherrington, we hardly knew him. The family patriarch seemed mostly uninterested in the goings-on around his household for much of the season.
My lord, are you hearing this? What are we going to do?
There's no need for your hysterics.
And it turned out that a lot of that was due to the fear associated with him gambling a lot and eventually losing all of the family's money, even his daughter's dowries. In the finale, he went to Simon's boxer friend, Will, and convinced the upstanding man to throw his next fight, but it appears that the decision led to Featherrington being set upon by gamblers much more dangerous than he, as his wife and daughters were lamenting his sudden death by the very end.
What is the matter?
What is your husband, Mom? You're saying he is dead.